Hey guys, welcome. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. This is inspired by a picture of a Tom Ford campaign, and I found out the makeup was done by Charlotte Tilbury, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm having a snow day, so I thought I'd recreate this for you. I'm starting with Makeup Forever HD Foundation. I am in the color Cognac. And I just spread a little over my face, and then I'm taking my flat top kabuki brush from Sigma, and I am spreading it all over, making sure I blend well. This color, I don't know, I had a little love-hate relationship with it, but it's coming back for me. I think it photographs really well. So just take your time and make sure it blends into your hairline, and take a little down your neck to make sure those match up too. Then I'm taking Urban Decay's Mushroom. Oh, I love this color. It's very sparkly and nice and a good gray. And I'm taking a fluffy blending brush, and I am going to place this all over my eye. I'm not being really specific at all, which is why I'm using the fluffier blending brush. I'm going to take it up into my crease and do patting and windshield wiper motions. I'm just kind of doing everything here to disperse the color and get it around my eyelid. I'm not really packing this on. There's a bit of the color on my brush, but I'm not trying to make the whole look out of this eyeshadow. So I'm just dispersing the color, not going really heavy with it, just making sure it gets on and all over my eyelid. Not really taking it up too far past the crease, just making sure it's blended out. Just keep working at it. It takes a little while. And sometimes you'll look at an eye and go back, which is what I did here. And then when I do that little motion on the outside, I'm just making sure it keeps a nice shape. Okay, so the next eyeshadow I'm taking is Desperation by Urban Decay. And I'm taking a smaller brush, putting in the eye pot, and then dipping off the excess. I'm going to go closer to the lash line with this one, and then put it all over the mobile lid. So I started down closer to my lash line because that's where I want the most color deposited. I'll do a close-up for you. Start down at your lash line with the most color, and then blend it out all over the eyelid. I love this look because you don't have to be very specific about it, but it just all blends together nicely. And Desperation is more of a satin finish. Mushroom has a little bit of sparkle, but Desperation is a little darker and has more of a satin finish. So I've put the lighter color and then the darker color closer to my eyelash. This is Oozy by Urban Decay. It's one of the double-ended liners. And I'm kind of just literally slapping this along my lash line. As you can see, not really specific about it. And that's for reasons that will become obvious later. It's the darkest color of them all, and I'm putting it close to my lash line. But I'm not using it as a liner per se. It's just one of the tools I use to deepen the color. So I'll show you on my other eye. Just kind of putting it on, not very neatly. Just making sure it gets across the lid. Okay? So, taking that brush again, I'm pretty sure it's a Real Techniques eyeshadow brush, but any smaller eyeshadow brush will do. And I'm just blending out that liner. This is Urban Decay's Perversion. It's the Ink for Eyes Perversion liner. And I'm using this because it has a super thin felt tip, so you can have a lot of control. So I'm taking this along my lash line, super duper close. Little short strokes. Then I'm going at the tip of my eye on the outer corner and dragging that liner up. Then I'm going to start at the tail end and then drag it back across my eye. And I find that's the easiest way to do liner. So go up and then you drag it back across. And then I'm just fixing it and making sure it's the shape that I like. Just adding a little bit of color. Making sure it's good. So I do my other eye a little bit differently because I still like to use my dominant hand. I start with the wing and then go back. So I start at the edge of my eye, trace it out, and then go back over it. I do this on my other eye in the opposite direction instead of going all the way across from inner corner and out because I still like using my dominant hand. And then I go to the inner corner and trace it along my eye. Little short strokes. Then just look at yourself head on and make sure it's all even. This is MAC's Feline Eyeliner, and I am going to take this in my waterline. It's super black, super creamy. It won't tug your waterline, which is why I love it so much. I find like even some kohl pencils can be harsh on your waterline, but this is very smooth. So that's how it looks. Next, I am going to go back in with that eyeshadow brush that I use, and I'm just going to kind of drag it along the bottom, like right under my eyelashes. I didn't put any more color on it, but just what's left on the brush. I'm just swiping it across. Next, I'm going to take Espresso from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's part of the contour kit. And I am going to contour my face with an angled blush brush. I'm taking that right into the hollows. And then after that is done, I'm going to take Illuminaty, and this is from Magnolia Makeup, and a fluffier brush. This is also a blush brush. I'm just using it as double duty. And I start that, it's really, really pigmented. I'm starting it at the highest point of my cheekbones and then bringing it down. Highest point, bringing it down and making sure it's really blended out. Then I'm taking the Ambient Lighting palette from Hourglass and a bigger, fluffier brush, and I am going to put that all over my face as a setting powder. If you're wondering why I never do the concealer under the eye, I am not a big fan. I never think that it photographs well. I always think you can absolutely tell exactly what's there, and I'm just not a fan of it. So this is Fever Powder Blush by MAC Cosmetics, and I am using this on a contour brush. And I'm going to place it right above my contour. I love that sort of chiseled blush look. It is a kind of dark raspberry marsala color. And I'm going to drag that down. Don't worry if it looks crazy sharp. Just take your big blending brush and go back over it. So the contour that I use is matte, and I wanted a little bit more of a glow. So I'm taking that same brush and my Terracotta bronzer by Guerlain and going at the top of my forehead. I love this bronzer. It has sort of like a reddish tint to it, but not too crazy red, and it just evens everything out for me. This is Brow Wiz in Brunette, and I'm going to shape my eyebrows a little bit. I'm just making that line sharp at the top and filling in some sparse areas, making the line sharper at the bottom, and then blending it out so it looks natural. Doing the same thing on the other side, making sure that top is nice and sharp, and making sure you can see the angle at the top, and then blending out that line. I don't want them to look too perfect. Taking Roller Lash by Benefit. I'm kind of liking this mascara. I think I wore it yesterday from noon until maybe 1 in the morning, and even though it's a thicker formula, it didn't flake off, so I wasn't upset about it. It is a curling mascara, but I didn't feel like it hurt me on length. It was okay. I only use 1 coat of it because it is so thick. I think if you pile it on, you would have the tendency to get those flakes, and it can get clumpy extremely quickly. So I just use 1 coat on both eyes. And I both flick it up and then wiggle and flick too. It is a thinner brush, so you can get into the inner corners easily. And I'm just going to put some on my bottom lashes also. Making sure those are nice and coated. So next, I'm taking Beaux Bordeaux. It is by Sephora. It's one of their Nano liners. And I am lining my lips. Again, if you do that kind of stretch, you'll get a nicer application, easier. And I'm going to fill in my entire lip. I'm not being super serious about that, because super serious about my makeup is just not my style. And I'm taking Just a Bite. It's a satin by MAC Cosmetics. And I'm going to put this all over my lip. It's such a pretty color. Such a pretty color. It's dark, but it's kind of winey, but it's still got that punch of red. Love it. And just make sure you kind of melt your lips together so it blends in with the liner. And that is the complete look. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.